Marketing is an action, branding is a strategy. The primary difference between the two is that marketing involves maybe more of a push than branding.
Yeah, branding is what comes before any marketing efforts you engage in and involves expressions of the values of your organization or service.
And great brands don't happen by accident. They're built by growth-focused leaders who do things on purpose. So how can you build a standout brand? So if you're just starting to think about branding for your business or your brand image is just worn out.
In this episode, we'll talk to Selah Hirsch, the owner of Express My Brand, and she'll share the 3 power moves to smash through the generic and go from bland to better, bold brand today on The Obsessed Marketer.
Welcome back to The Obsessed Marketer, the podcast designed for you, the small business owner, looking to jumpstart your business and learn quick marketing strategies that you can take with you to increase sales, reach, and growth. My name is Andrew Hayes, and we have a new guest. We have a new person on here today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be on the podcast. My name is Megan Van On.
And what's your title here at Viral?
So I'm the Director of Strategy and Operations here at Viral Solutions.
And you're kind of also a little branding, can I kind of call you a geek, a branding geek,
sure.
a branding nerd? What kind of got you into branding and stuff like that?
Well, I'm a really creative person. I'm actually an artist. I've dabbled in everything from pottery to digital design. So I don't know. I love a good brand.
Yeah, I know. It's something that I always pay attention to. And that's something that I always go to. I go to a business or I look at things and I'm like, okay, what does it look like in here? What does it feel like? And I'm sure that that's something that maybe you're looking for as a small business owner, for somebody walking into your business or shopping with you to kind of have that same feeling of like, okay, what am I feeling? What am I looking at? How does this brand make me feel? So today we have a special guest on who's going to kind of go through that to build a bold brand. Who are we bringing on today, Megan?
I'm really excited to bring on Selah Hirsch. She's the owner of Express My Brand, a high-impact brand development agency that works with companies, nonprofits, and also personal brands to strengthen the way that they talk about what they do, how they do it, and why it matters.
Yeah, and she's worked with nearly 200 businesses and nonprofit organizations, and she's super passionate about helping business owners differentiate themselves in the industry. And I think this is going to be a really, really great kind of discussion about branding.
Me too. I think you guys are just going to love Selah's passion and energy really comes through.
So let's not wait. Let's go. Selah, how are you doing today?
I am fantastic, you guys. Thanks for having me on the show today. I'm so excited.
Thanks so much for being here.
So you're going to bring us through and walk us through 3 power moves to kind of make a bolder brand. But first, I kind of want to have you explain to us kind of what branding is in a way.
That's a great question, Andrew. Okay, Megan, I get it, because so many times people are like, well, what is this brand? It feels like trying to catch a jellyfish through your fingers sometimes. And I know that so many businesses are growth focused. They're working on their marketing plans. They're, looking at the KPIs on their sales team, and they're going, and where's the brand fit into all this? What is this for? So let's just break it down for a second. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's go.
I think that the best way to look at it is through the lens, I like to say, of expectation. What is an expectation? It's when you're headed into a phone call, you're looking for where to eat, you're about to make a purchase, and it's all of a sudden catching and realizing that maybe consciously or subconsciously, you have an expectation. Oh, I'm going to get it put on hold for a while. Oh, they're going to have it right to us right when we wanted to. That's going to taste just like I remembered it last time. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that is the impression of branding, is developing a promise and an expectation in your customer base of what they know that they can come and expect from you. And I do believe that doesn't happen by accident, but all great brands are built on purpose, and they are built by people who are growth focused, and they realize that we have to own our reputation. We have to develop the right expectation in the minds of our people, because they will become ultimately the most raving fans back of our business. That's the job of brand.
That's a great point, Selah. I remember this story from the CEO of Starbucks, and he was talking about when they were really in this growth mode, going from kind of a small Seattle coffee shop to wanting to become a big global brand that they are today. He said, basically my goal is that I want our customers, it doesn't matter if they're in the airport in Detroit or if they're in Oklahoma City or Tokyo, you want to be able to get that white chocolate mocha and it tastes exactly the same as it does at your Starbucks back home, right? So that expectation of service and quality is always there.
It's true. And, the litmus test of brand is really the raving customers like you're talking about, where wherever I go, I know what I can expect. I know what this company stands for. And truly, at the end of the day, if you build your brand strategically, if you build it with the right intention and you angle it towards the right audience, let me tell you, those people are going to become your raving fans. Okay. They will pay more. They will go out of their way. They will drive longer, wait longer, do whatever it takes to get to you, because it's a two-way relationship. It's not just a veneer. It's not just a logo. It's not just this built and set it and forget it type of approach, but it's living, it's breathing everyday interactions with your customer audience. And let me tell you, if your brand is built right, it's going to do three things for you. It's going to attract more people. It's going to convert more sales, and it's going to retain more business, because it's the tango going back and forth there in how you're building that relationship with your target audience.
So then let's go into this then. Making a bold brand, kind of like Starbucks, right? So what's the way to do that? How do you make a bold brand?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, you just lit my hair on fire. About that, like all day long, you guys. I love the word bold. Okay, let's just center on that for a second, because really that's where we're going to go today. This is going to hopefully be a very helpful conversation for any business owner, any business leader, a marketing team that's listening. Obviously, that's why they are drawn to the obsessed marketer.
Yes.
Drink the Kool-Aid. We are hanging with the right people right now because you desire to go bold. You desire to separate yourself in your industry. Okay, so if that is you, then we're hanging in the right place right now, because that means there's no room right now for vanilla. Okay, vanilla is only good on Sunday, and in my opinion, covered in hot fudge. Okay,
exactly. I agree with you 100%.
That's the only way that works, right, guys? And really, what we're doing is we're smashing the generic. So I want you to hear that first. We've got to break through generic places in order to build bolder brands in bolder places. And generic is not bad. Sometimes it's fundamental. Sometimes it's where a business has started, but that's where you realize, again, I'm going to say it again, you can't set it and forget it with your brand. It has to evolve. It has to be relevant within your industry, with where your people are at. And yeah, Andrew, if it's okay, let's break down some of those things. You want me to jump into that right now?
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah.
Okay, so in a nutshell, I want you to hear one thing before we get into this, and that is that strategic decisions and consistent actions build a bold brand.
Oh my gosh, Selah, that was such a light bulb for me the first time you said that to me. Consistent actions. I had never heard branding described that way. Really just break that down for us.
Okay, so a lot of people know brand through Jeff Bezos' famous quote, that brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. I mean, come on, that's reputation. Reputation and expectation, they go hand in hand, okay? People, they sense something about you. They can see your style. They know what you stand for. They know what you're against. They kind of have a sense of, when I meet this person, this is what the interaction is going to be: positive, negative, in the middle, you name it. But where I like to take that into brand work is, yes, brand is what your audience and your clients say about you, but the brand development process is the 1,000 micro actions done consistently to build that out, maintain, and grow it. So that's where it's every single day, whether it's the person who answers the phone, in your front office, all the way to how your accounting team delivers and follows up on bills and receipts, to your sales team, to your marketing team. Every single person in your company is equally a promoter and a protector of your brand.
Or not.
Or not.
That is true.
If not, let's call a staff. Okay, so let's break it down and get more granular. You got the point so far. This is a strategic conversation. So more is not always better in branding. It's the right decisions, the ones that you can consistently implement, and the ones that are authentic to you. If you don't mind, let me just kind of walk for a quick second onto a super small soapbox. I want to encourage you to lead boldly in your industry in a way that's authentic to your business. Andrew, Megan, I see this all the time where people and companies and leaders can get really obsessed in wrong ways with looking at what others are doing and trying to follow or mimic them. And that's one aspect to a bold brand, is that you lead boldly through your business. You deliver in the ways that are authentic to you. Just because someone else does something one way doesn't mean you have to do it. In fact, if any times I like to ask a question when I'm working on brand differentiator with clients, what would people what is unexpected? What would they never expect? Where does that come from? And so just remember, as we break this conversation down today, that it's not more. You don't need to be doing more. It might just be evolving some areas that are in your current brand, in your current, business that just elevate to a point where they're bolder, kind of, again, breaking through the generic and getting stronger.
Bolder, differentiation. Absolutely. Yes. Getting more specific.
And I would say definitely like more of a quality over a quantity than strategic wise. And that's something that we've talked about a lot on the podcast too, is looking strategically at things, and planning them out ahead of time too.
Absolutely. I love that. This is definitely a strategic conversation. Okay, so let's break it down. Strategy can feel really big, but we can make it really tangible right now in this conversation. It's helpful to realize that your brand is so much more than your logo. Okay, I see that time and time again.
My gosh.
We have a logo. We have a brand. Did you see our logo? Did you see our brand? And
exactly.
I'm like, whoa, okay. Let's put on some 3D glasses for a second, and jump into the main show here. So let's break down the pillars of branding. There's 3 of them. Number 1, it's a memorable verbal brand.
A memorable verbal brand.
Yes, your brand is having a conversation all day, every day, from your website to your email marketing, to your social media, to the way your team is verbalizing your brand in every place. Your brand is having a conversation. And why do we say a memorable verbal brand? Well, memorable is, first of all, because it's clear. It's distinct. I can truly remember what you've said. You made a clear point. And we'll break that down maybe in some application questions today. Memorable is also creative. It's speaking in a way that's going to engage with your target audience. And so you should have, I believe, a verbal brand playbook, a brand messaging playbook for your company. It's going to have everything from taglines and slogans to your positioning statement. It's going to explain the promises and the points of success that you help people to achieve. It's a very multi-dimensional, but it creates the first pillar of brand, which is a memorable verbal brand.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Such a great point. I know you and I have talked a little bit about this in our work with different nonprofits. I was involved with an organization that, great branding, beautiful logo, amazing services and impact. And one of the things that they really struggled with was this verbal aspect of the brand. You could ask all the different people that worked in this organization or were somehow involved, whether they were on the board or receiving services from this organization, and all of them would explain the organization differently. And so it just wouldn't really get stuck in people's mind of like, what is it that they do? I can't really put my finger on it.
Oh my goodness. Can I just wave my white hand? 1,000%, you guys. That's smash the generic, smash through, realizing that we can no longer let everyone kind of create their own, verbal definition of our brand.
Absolutely.
And then same thing goes. I can't tell you all the time, we work on websites and, we look as an outsider's perspective. And again, sometimes we catch that vanilla language. We can hang our hat sometimes on just industry terms, the curse of knowledge. People don't maybe get what they're talking about, or I see generic and verbal brands as like, we do this and we do this, and this is why you should work with us. And I just want to be like, that is so, one-dimensional. That is so outside the bounds of actually having a tangible conversation in that moment, with your audience. And so if we're talking memorable, that memorable has got to have a feeling to it. It's got to have a recognition to it. It's got to have an emotion to it. And it has to be defined. And you won't find that in the logo, but that's where we start. I believe in the best place of branding is in the messaging side.
And that's interesting. You would never think about like the copy and everything else like combined would also be part of branding. Because I mean, when I first look at businesses, I'm like, oh yeah, look at the logo and everything. But it is way more than that now that you're saying this. Okay, so then let's move on. Dynamic visual brand is your next one?
Yes. Okay. So why we start with verbal is because it gives us the story of the visual. Okay. Otherwise, visual is just colors and it's fonts and it's imagery. And let me just tell you guys, I like basically want to wallpaper my office with every visual brand that comes through Express My Brand. You guys, I love it. But that's because there's a story in it. And we found the story in the verbal, so we know how to bring it out in the visual. The emotion conveyed is going to come across in the color palette. The distinction of the typography and the fonts is going to carry the message. You know, you eat with your eyes first. You guys watch Food Network, Gordon Ramsay. Yeah. Like, oh my God, can I jump through my TV and eat this plate of, chicken nuggets? Okay. We want people to jump through the customer journey and want to engage, convert with your brand. So that's the visual job of the brand. A logo is not just a logo. It's drawing people in. It's what you stand for. And no, not everyone is going to see the story, but you guys are going to see the story. The company's going to see the story. The board, the staff, the team, the raving fans, they're going to get it. There's a way to trickle that verbal brand story thread all the way through the visual brand. And I'm telling you, that is what turns vanilla, visual brands into dynamic, ready to roll to market national brands when they found the right story and they found the right look because they know it came out of a deep place of strategy.
Absolutely. It's all connected back to that strategy. We talk about that all the time. If you're not connected and rooted in that strategy, you're really shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah. I agree with you. So check how many fonts you guys are using. I mean, that's a good way to say really quickly, where are we at with our visual brand? Does everyone consistently use it just like they would use our verbal brand? Or is it just isolated, for some reason, just a few people and needs to be dispersed a little bit further? On the flip side, is it a little too loose and there needs to be someone who is the guardian of the visual brand? Think about that. I find that on average, again, this is just an industry standard, that a visual brand is pretty hardy for about a good 5-6 years, give or take. Again, every business grows at a different pace. Every industry evolves at a different pace. So you have to know what's right for you. You may find that yours lasts longer, 8 years or above. But the point being, it needs to evolve. It needs to grow with you. It needs to say, okay, what was relevant X number of years ago, is that still engaging, or has our target audience moved, and therefore our color palette needs to adjust with them as well? So remember, you got to keep a pulse on it. It has to stay alive. It has to stay viable. It has to be dynamic. And again, brought all the way through, just from not just at the website level, not just at the letterhead level, but let's make sure that the people who are running your social media are also upholding the integrity of that dynamic visual brand.
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
So you would say something like, branding is never just something static. It's something that you're always constantly working on, developing, and continuing to kind of grow with your business then.
Absolutely. It's a great point you made, Andrew. It's never static. It's living, it's breathing. I'll say it this way. It is the first impression you make, and it goes all the way to the lasting impression. Sometimes people think it's just that veneer. It's just got to be that thing at the front door. But no. It's got to be all the way through to the retention side of your business, because it's going to continue through the way your clients return back to you time and time again. It's going to be the way you send gratitude. In fact, I'm already jumping into the third point. If I don't mind, I'll share it here.
All right, so let's go with it.
Yeah, let's go. Your the third pillar to a bold brand
is creating a remarkable brand experience. And so we've got our language, we've got our verbal brand, we have that dynamic, fresh, crisp, modern, relevant visual brand for our industry, for our audience, for the culture of our company. And then we bring it to life in our brand experience. Just a minute ago, we talked about what's it like when someone calls your office. In fact, you may need to smash through some generic and test it out. Have you been a mystery customer of your business in a while? If you haven't, I really encourage you to do that. We're not trying to put anybody in, you're not getting anybody in trouble here. We're not trying to spotlight anybody in the company in any way that's negative. We're just looking as a whole for where the brand is living and where it needs to evolve and where it needs to strengthen. And so test calling in at the front.
It reminds me of that show, Undercover Boss.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes for businesses before I work with them. I'll test it out or test a transaction out. see how it goes through, try leaving your cart, abandoned, or call and ask a question, like a bizarre question. How does your company respond to your customer on a daily basis? That's the litmus test we're looking for there. And what I hope you find is some huge encouragement back to you to say, okay, we're on it. Our team is doing what they need to do. And then on the flip side, you may say, but these are some areas we can strengthen. We're really good at the sales process and we're really good at closing them. But then where is like the welcome process? That's a big area a lot of times. What does our onboarding type of look like? Or what is our recognition to a brand new customer? Or what does it look like to a returning customer, kind of when they're up for a renewal or they've become a monthly, customer? Where can we add little touches? I think there's really, there's a lot of ways to use your messaging and your visual brand all the way through that experience. So whether it's a printed note card that goes, in a package shipment, whether it's a text message or a voicemail that goes out, welcoming people, or the way that a team member touches base and asks for feedback, how something's going through. All of those are living, breathing touch points of a remarkable brand experience.
Oh my goodness. We were just talking about this morning. I was in a meeting with Christine, our CEO, with a client, and we were using Apple as an experience of this great brand experience, right? So you get a new iPhone and every moment of it is so satisfying.
That ripping off the cellophane, the smell, the feel of it.
The best part.
Like the packaging is so beautiful. The box fits so, it's a whole experience before you've even turned the phone on.
Yeah. Y'all want to have some fun for a minute? You want to
Yes,
let's go.
Always.
I love it. Okay. So it's like one thing to hear those things. And then sometimes, if you're anything like me, an Enneagram 3, I'm like, all right, let's get to business. Okay. Let's do something about this. What do we need to work on? Or, and I was just sharing a minute ago, so I don't want to contradict myself by saying, looking at what others are doing, but let me encourage you that branding is it's strategy, but also too, you can make moves on it pretty quickly and in ways that are not high cost or high impact. A lot of people are afraid, we don't want to work on our brand. It's going to cause, it's going to be a 6-month project. It's going to cost us, hundreds
6 figures
of dollars. Yeah. It's going to take me hours and hours. It just feels daunting. So let's look at what some big brands have done to break these down in ways to show you, the ways that they work smarter and not harder. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, I could give tons and tons of examples. I'm going to pick 3 right off the top. Okay, so the first one is we talked about having that memorable verbal brand. Okay, you guys, I have 3 small kids. If you were to look in my minivan right now, there's probably about 99,000 goldfish rolling around at any given day. And kids are hungry all the time. And so one of our favorite places to frequent is Chick-fil-A. Okay, we are, give me a fast pass through that line.
Yes.
But we're talking about a memorable verbal brand. All right, answer this question for me, you guys. If you are the Chick-fil-A, gal and guy, and you are handing me over my French fries and my chicken nuggets, and I say, thank you, what do you say back?
My pleasure.
Yes.
It's my pleasure.
I mean, how many people have even tested that? Like, we're going to say it just to make sure that they say it. It became a joke for even a few years, but that's because Chick-fil-A decided they wanted to have an elevated level, an elevated restaurant level experience in a fast casual dining industry. And how cool is that? I don't know any other fast food restaurant that has something that memorable and that consistent. So they made a strategic decision to have a moment free of charge. It doesn't cost them anything. I mean, they got to train their people to say it. It doesn't cost them anything, but they have built their brand and they've been able to carry it across their entire company. Thank you.
And it sticks with you because it's not something that you normally hear when you say, thank you.
Especially at fast food.
No, yeah. It's like, okay, bye. Like at the McDonald's drive-thru, they're like, yeah, go.
I think they throw it at me as I drive by, right?
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're talking how to go from bland to a bold brand. There's a bold brand right there. Great example. All right, so let's talk visual brand for a minute. I am a diehard Southwest Airlines fan. Okay, I know that they don't have fancy lounges in all the airports, with all the bougie drinks and snacks and things like that. They have, and that's a whole nother even cool conversation again about differentiation in an industry. But what I love is they've got that fantastic visual brand experience. They've got their heart. Okay, you've seen their heart. It's got their color scheme, those 3 powerful colors on it. It's woven all the way through through their brand. I mean, it is on every single thing, as it should be, as many are, but they've taken a little extra care with their color palette and the way that they've used their heart, and they've brought it into their messaging in a cool way. And so, yes, it's clean, it's iconic, it's easy to see. It's obviously very Americana, which is where so much of what they serve. They don't serve the international markets as much. They serve, the U.S. territories. And so you can see they've got the red, they've got the blue, they are really pushing into, speaking into where they serve. But I love that heart is not just a heart. It represents the word LUV, love. And if you look at any of their verbal brand, it's all about share the love. You are now free to fly around the country. We love what we do. That is in the culture of Southwest Airlines, is love. And so they brought the word love. They brought their brand culture and they attached it to their visual brand. And that's what's, again, so cool. And the more you fly, you will see they love what they do. You guys,
they really do.
I've ever encountered a cranky Southwest employee. If anything, they look like they're having the best time of their day and they're dealing,
You're like, I kind of want to be a flight attendant now.
Career change. Let's go.
I know, you got to get all the peanuts you ever want to eat, right? But it's true. You can feel the love. And so I think it's really cool that they found the visual brand to back it up.
Okay.
All right. One more? Okay.
Yeah, let's do one more.
So, remarkable brand experience. Okay. How many of you guys have shopped at Trader Joe's? Do you guys have Trader Joe's up in
We
Wisconsin?
do.
Yes.
Okay. It's amazing. It's the TJ Maxx of grocery stores, really.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to take that. I've always wondered how to describe them to people who don't know.
You walk in and you're like, I really just needed bread and eggs, and somehow I spent $127.
Oops. Really random stuff too, right, guys?
Oh God, so good.
Okay, but Trader Joe's has broken all the norms of a grocery shopping experience. You walk in the door and their employees are in these Hawaiian t-shirts. Okay, like they don't specialize in Hawaiian food. They're not only in the islands on the coastals. No, I mean, they're all across the US. And so they're like fanatical. That's where I would say they have got this great brand experience. They have found the way to onboard and bring in the right talent into their team because, man, those people are nuts about their company, about eating a little healthier, sourcing, in smaller batches, and they are just having a blast. There is a scavenger hunt that goes through. Did you guys ever know that? There's an ongoing scavenger hunt for kids.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they have so many little nuances in their brand. And it's just, we're talking, you're getting groceries, right, Megan? Like you said, you get in for 2 things, you get a whole bucket. But they make it to where when you walk in the door, it doesn't matter what day you're having. It doesn't matter what you're shopping for. Like, we're going to have fun doing this. So I'm going to play the scavenger hunt. I've got the carts for the kids. Every single employee, the way they even check out, have you noticed? They don't have the big, long conveyor belt.
Trader Joe's is the only place where when you swipe your card, it doesn't play that sound, which makes you feel like your card got declined.
Yeah.
It plays a ukulele sound, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I just spent so much money on groceries. Thanks. Have a great day.
Isn't that so cool? Like you said, and you remember it, guys. Again, like I could go buy groceries from anywhere, but you better believe I'm going to go out of my way when I can to shop at Trader Joe's. And I know I'm going to walk in with an expectation that we are going to have fun. And if I have a question, I have a problem with a product, man, it is like a no. Boom, you want to sample it right here, right now? Pop that bag open. Every employee on their team has ability to just whip open anything and like people taste that. I mean, they are just fanatical, guys. And guess what? The customer feels that. Okay, that's why again they're going to go out of their way. So there's bolder brands, like we gave an example in Chick-fil-A, gave an example in Southwest Airlines, gave an example in Trader Joe's. And guess what? Everything they're doing, you can do in your business. Whether you're starting a business right now, whether you're a few years, whether you've been in business for decades and you're looking at how to evolve and grow. Let me tell you, brand is equally for you as it is for them. And the good news is you just don't have to spend a couple extra thousands of dollars. You can learn from what they're doing. I hope that's helpful today.
Okay, it's the little things. So what's all the little things then is what you can kind of bring into your branding for free. I mean, so then what is something that a small business owner could do right now to kind of start building their brand beyond the little things like that?
Yeah, Yeah, I'd love to give maybe 3 questions that we ask in every brand build. Again, whether this is a personal brand, it's a smaller business to a very large established corporate client. I think there's 3 fundamental questions that every business owner can take a few minutes and work through. Really ask the right questions. Again, you got to put on your strategic hat and realize that the answers you provide, the feedback
that's me putting on my strategic hat for those of you on the podcast.
Strategic hat. This is going to have a big impact, and it's the kind of thing you want to do right and you want to do well because it's going to last for years to come. Invite your team around the table too. I find that sometimes the most unique team members can have fantastic perspectives that really give, again, not the quantity of decisions, the quality of them. Let's break down these 3 questions. Number 1, what value do you provide? You probably weren't surprised it was going to be that simple of a question. What value do you provide? Okay. Well, let me just break down value for a quick second. I believe value is tangible and intangible. And so just think for a second, every value is typically hinged on a problem. There had to be a better way. I've said every Shark Tank person. Okay. So out of a place of problem, out of a place of frustration, out of a place of need, a lot of times is the perception of value. And so I'm not just selling you this product or this service, but really if you think about it in a more enhanced mindset, it's going to be, this is the value I'm providing because again, I'm speaking against this problem, this need, this frustration, this challenge. And so take for a minute, what is the value you provide on an emotional level? Where is their peace of mind? Where are you alleviating stress? Where are you troubleshooting, per se? And then really, what does the value provide in quality and product and speed and in delivery and in how you back your product or your service all the way through and just take some time to flesh that out. And what I hope that you're going to find in that first question is you're going to see, at least half, okay, good. We're communicating that as you should be to have a viable business that's selling, at a very, a growth focused level. But what I hope you find is there's more value that sometimes you're forgetting to sell on social media, you're forgetting to talk about on social media. Your sales team, there's a few key points they can add, into their repertoire when they're making that sale. And what you're going to see is that there's just that elevated information, it being able to convey the value and being so clear and so compelling in it is going to help immediately say, okay, we can add this into our brand, whether it's verbally, we're going to convey it, visually, we're going to convey it, or through our brand experience, and already start to move the needle and become bolder there.
Okay, so then we go from asking what kind of value we provide, and then what do we ask next?
Okay, so the next question is, what are the needs of your target audience? Okay, my biggest pet peeve is branding is when I come across businesses who are just talking all about themselves and how good we are.
Oh goodness, we talk about this probably every day.
It's like nails on a chalkboard, you guys. I'm like, whoa. It's not about you. Okay. It's all about the needs of your target audience. And my favorite part about brand building is getting into the psychographic insights of an audience. I just mentioned them a little bit ago. Like, what do your people need? What
are their pain points? What are they, how are they suffering? What are they afraid of?
Yes, exactly. And so you need to get hyper clear on what do they need, because you can sell the best thing all day long, but if you're not connecting it to their need, you're missing it. So take a minute, get in the shoes of your target audience. What do our people need? Okay.
And for the podcast listeners out there, we do talk about psychographics and finding your target audience in one of our earlier episodes, and we'll link that in the show notes for you, as well as a YouTube card here on the video. Selah, keep going.
Yeah, I definitely recommend grab that exercise and run that now. Do not wait. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. It'll probably be worth $200,000 on your bottom line this year if you go do that exercise, you guys. Okay, get clear, hyper clear. What is the value you provide? Okay, what are the needs of your target audience? And then what do you do differently than your competitors? Think about that. This is a bigger conversation. I'm just giving you a slice off the pie here, but really think about your direct competitors in your market, because your target audience is going, do we go here or do we go there? Which one is better for me? Whether consciously or subconsciously, there's an expectation of what they're looking for. And they are constantly evaluating you going, are they the right one for what we need? Can they deliver for what we're looking for? And so get really clear for a minute. And I challenge you to come up with one or two more angles of how you're different from your competitors. Maybe that's your company culture. Maybe that's your beliefs, your values. Maybe that's in the dynamic nature of your product or your service. Maybe it's in your speed. Maybe it's in your delivery, what you stand for. It does not matter. Find out how you're different and turn up the volume on that. So many times it's buried among a team. A team knows it. All I'm trying to do through these 3 questions is pull it out of you, look at it, make the decision, say, yes, that is who we are. Now, where can we consistently convey that? Again, through your verbal, through your visual, through your brand experience, get it out there, make it known, and win in your industry.
These differentiators, Selah, are so important because it's not like things were 30, 50 years ago. Now people can go and shop for literally any business they want on the internet. The internet has completely changed this. So if people don't see those differentiators, why you? I could go buy from anyone else.
I couldn't agree with you more. And hey, if we ever get a chance to have a follow-up conversation, we should do a conversation solely on brand differentiation.
Because that would be great.
Ooh, okay. Bring it back.
I have got the coolest framework to break down your differentiator even more thoroughly. So this is kind of, again, like a slice a little bit off of a bigger piece there of that strategic conversation. But that's helping you see brand is multidimensional. And I encourage you guys, if you get stuck in an area, it's okay. Work with the ones you can get answers to. Bring your team around the table. And what you're doing is you're answering the biggest question of what do we want to be known for, to our people, to our industry, to our new clients, to our repeat clients. And I feel like the more work you do on the inside of that, your team will carry that across on the outside. And that's where brands are not built overnight. Okay. They don't happen by accident.
Consistent actions.
Growth-focused leaders who do things on purpose. So go build a bolder brand on purpose.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So Selah, if anybody has any questions, wants to find you, maybe learn about Express My Brand, where can they find you?
Absolutely. I'll be glad to talk to you about brand building, and we'll drink coffee all day long, you guys. You can check me out and learn more about Express My Brand at expressmybrand.com. You can find me on any social platform at Express My Brand, and definitely cheering you on and glad to help you build a better, bolder brand anytime. I'm so glad you guys had me on today. I love the Obsessed Marketer, and this conversation has been a total blast.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Selah.
Thanks, guys.
Oh my gosh, Megan, that was a fantastic discussion with Selah. She's awesome.
She's amazing. I could talk to Selah for like 10 hours.
I know. This podcast could go on for like 2 hours if it could. We won't bore you that way. But let's talk about some of the key points that she brought up and recap it a little bit. What's something that you kind of took away from the discussion?
Yeah, for me, one of the big takeaways from Selah is that your brand is not just your logo, your colors, your fonts. It's those consistent actions. It's the way that everyone from not just you as the business owner, but also your employees, everyone that interacts with your brand, what do they think about? What do they say about you?
It's like everything like granular all the way down. And I mean, that's the one thing I was talking to Selah. I'm like, oh yeah, you really only notice like the logo when you're a customer and sometimes, but it is the little things that really make it. And that was something that I took away too, was if you're trying to bring more branding elements into your business, it doesn't have to be expensive and it doesn't have to be all this super big plan thought out, 6-month plan. It can be little things like, saying my pleasure instead of you're welcome, or, the little tiny things that.
And I know we've got a lot of great free resources on the website too for people, things like our customer avatar or style guide.
Yes.
Those don't cost any money.
And that's on viralsolutions.net. So if you're looking for maybe a little bit of help with your branding as well, you can reach out to you, Megan.
Absolutely. Please do.
Yep, that's at viralsolutions.net. Check out all of our services. And if you have any questions whatsoever about branding, you can go to viralsolutions.net, click that little blue chat bubble at the bottom of the page, ask whatever you want, and someone like Megan.
Yep, probably will be me.
Yes, and so also one last thing too, if you're looking for a full audit of your business, we go through all the pain points that you're going through, what you're doing right, maybe what you could be working better on. Go to viralsolutions.net, click that free marketing audit button, and we'll get in touch with you. And it's free.
It is.
Yes. All right, so next week on The Obsessed Marketer, we're talking about competitive analysis. And no, we're not talking about your competitors, but we're talking about how you can kind of compete better against your competitors and kind of look at that data. And we're bringing back our CMO, Thomas Van on, again to kind of bring that up and talk about it. So I think that's pretty much it, right, Megan?
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, so thanks for listening to The Obsessed Marketer. I'm Andrew Hayes.
I'm Megan Van on.
And we'll see you next time. The Obsessed Marketer is a production of Viral Solutions and produced by Andrew Hayes, Holland Berkey, and Joel Schmitz. Give us a rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to let us know what you think. And send any topic suggestions to viralsolutions.net. Just click the blue chat bubble at the bottom of the page. Visit viralsolutions.net for more information on how to strategize, execute, and grow your business. And subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen.